wanted to be taught and then immediately run out to the world and share it. And so you need disciples for this. And all of you people here today are weird people who are disciples. The law of giving and receiving is what I want to talk about today. That's why I said it's a doozy, because one or two things are going to happen. You are going to check yourself before you wreck yourself. Okay. Or you're going to say, you know what? I've fallen short of the mark. And that is why I'm in this season of my life. Because whenever you have a need, you have stopped giving in that area.
You are right, Reverend.
This whenever you have my case, okay. I know your case. Whenever the brook has dried up, it's because you stopped being blessed waters.
Why are you starting already?
Yes. That's how this works. And unfortunately, giving is important. Yes, sir, Mr. Phil.
Under that spirit of giving, you know who Prophet Jerry should talk to?
Who's that?
In terms of getting interviews? Sister Booker.
Dundee. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
That's the one. He needs to make that one phone call because she knows the market. She knows what station that's it. Drop mic.
Yeah.
Tell her what you want, and that'll work.
Okay, that's absolutely right. Yeah. Grace, I don't trust him. Can I get you to set that up? I trust him to believe, but I don't trust him to do.
Hey, I'll get with Renee. We're gonna get that together.
Well, if I told him to do for everybody else, I wouldn't have said that because I know he's gonna do that.
At least you're honest. Okay.
Yeah. But once I say, Prophet Jerry, I want you to take care of yourself and go ahead and do what Phil said. Oh well. So we gonna do it for
those who not been on the call. What happened this morning, Prophet Jerry, tell us what you told us. You prayed to be interviewed.
Yeah, Bishop was saying something, and he said, "Who knows?" Antonio was saying something. Who knows? Somebody may ask you to
wear their clothes.
Yeah, wear their clothes for exercise class. And I said this morning, I was meditating on it, that I would love to be interviewed by somebody important, just to get it out there that
right.
And I didn't say this, but to get it out there that just because you're in a wheelchair, that don't mean life stops.
Well, you got a message that during, but I love the concept, bounce back expert. I read that a couple of weeks ago. Somebody calls themselves a bounce back expert, because I think it's a great title. But what happened was Prophet Jerry got us thinking, and I suggested that do research, find out the talk shows in your market, then have somebody else call the producer, because that's who you talk to. You don't talk to the online talent. Call the producer to say that he knows a potential guest to refer you to be the guest. And we were thinking about it. Then I said, where your market is, Sister Booker's the done deal. She knows everybody. That's done. That's the person to call to say, I want to do this, Sister Booker. What can you do to help me? And how do you think I should start? So that's absolutely. So catch everybody up that may not be on the call this morning.
Also, Bishop, don't forget about your friend.
Oh, yes. Thank you, because thank you for that reminder. I needed it. Good job. And good job to Phil for giving. It's in alignment with this call. Few preamble things. You'll know exactly when I start. I have started, but you'll know when I'm in full Antonio mode. The reason why we don't give is because we have a flawed understanding of the ways of life. And the reason why we have a flawed understanding of the ways of life is because we are paying attention to everyone else's journey but ours. If you actually looked at your own journey, you would understand the ways of life. You would. If you only looked at the harvest of your own experience and what worked in your own experience, and you never looked out at our sheas and said, but look what she got, and she did it this way. We're making assumptions about other people's journeys, and we get confused in the ways of life. We know what works for us all the time. We know what does not. But we get convoluted in this when we look at everybody else's journey and start comparing. And the fastest way to not enjoying your own human experience is comparing it to someone else's. It's the fastest way. If you don't want to enjoy your life, if you don't want to enjoy, yes, sir.
That is so important because
yes, sir.
You said that because it's like I can believe for everybody else. ATS, my mama, my daddy, who I don't know, but I can believe for everybody else. But when it comes to me, my faith is changing because of that talk we just had.
No, understood. I just know your sabotager is still present, and Phil gave you a good idea to sabotage. And I know your sabotager is strong, so we just gonna take it out your hands. You gonna have to sabotage 3 levels up, not at this one.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's how it works. When you know that this is where I sabotage, this is where you give it to somebody else and you say, look, I am going to do this. When I do this, you tell me I'm being a loser. I'm doing this. You call me out because I hate being called out. And that's going to make me do something or whatever it is that is your weakness or whatever that, we all know what bothers us. Like sometimes I'll tell Grace, I need you to do this and I need you to do this. And this is important because I am going to make an excuse of why I shouldn't do it. And I know, Grace, you think I'm so disciplined and I get it. But when I do this, I want you to say, but Antonio, you're letting us down. You're hurting us. And right there, Grace, you're going to activate the real me because you're going to hit me right where it hurts the most. And then I'm going to stop doing that thing that I knew I didn't want to do. Is it because I'm not disciplined? No, I'm full of discipline. It's just because I understood the thing that I'm asking her to hold me accountable for isn't how my priority list, but it needs to be. But no matter how much I tried to convince myself, Susan, to pick it up, I just wouldn't. So since I knew I wasn't going to do it, I just told her at this time, if I haven't done it, call me out. And my ego will put it on the high priority list because I can't stand that you called me out. You got to trick yourself sometimes in the way that you want to do it. And most importantly, and this is one of them classes, I ain't gonna have to ask you to talk. And I know y'all busy, but watch how all these cameras cut on. I ain't gonna have to ask you. Because we have not realized how much we actually have. Waylon Prendergrass, 37 years old, a resident of Tampa, Florida, committed a spur-of-the-moment robbery. He was drunk and he was drinking. And right when he said he needed to stop drinking, he drank some more. He went and got some chicken nuggets from McDonald's, soaked up that alcohol and drank some more. And now a very inebriated Mr. Prendergrass forced his way into somebody's house through an open window. And he went and he saw a suitcase filled with money and valuables. And then he went into the living room and saw all the valuables. And he started covering his tracks. Then he escaped through the back door and made his way home, laughing the whole way because he got away with it. Only as he turned the corner down his own street and looked at his own house, there were 3 fire engines putting out the fire of his house. And only then did Mr. Whalen realize he had, in fact, in his drunkenness, burglarized his own house and set it on fire. And when he was interviewed, all he could say to the reporter was, "I didn't know I owned so many valuable possessions." Funny. Now, we won't do something as silly as Mr. Whalen and rob ourselves, but we do rob the joy of our lives every day by not realizing that we own so many valuable possessions. And that sounds like us, don't it? We stop giving because we don't think we have anything no more. We don't give compliments when needed. We don't give money when needed because we have effectively got drunk off our own complaints, so much to the point to where we're robbing ourselves and don't even know it. And it is not filled until our lives are on fire that we then say, "Oh, I didn't realize I was worth so much." And today, I want to not only remind you of your worth, but I want to remind you, most importantly, that the moment you stop giving your worth to this universe stops giving you blessings.
Antonio?
Yes, ma'am.
Reminds me of my uncle in Massachusetts that had the 7 adopted children, and he was a millionaire, and he drove from Wayland, Weston, Mass into Boston every day. And sometimes for important things, it'd be like a helicopter or something, but he drove like the speed limit under the speed limit. And when he would pick me up at the airport, Boston airport, when I would come to visit and I just knew it was going to be quiet because he didn't talk much. He hardly had anything to say. He had this little smile when you knew he how much he
like him.
But he would be so quiet, and we would be going like 35 and everybody was passing us, and people were blowing him, flipping him the bird and all kinds of stuff, and he just kept driving along, always like that. And I asked him, why, and he said, "I have precious cargo on board." And so the people that were in the car, his family, everything, we all went into their huge big van with all their 7 adopted kids and all the other people, my mom and dad and me, and went to the eldest daughter's wedding. It was snowing and, big blizzard, and, and he drove really slow. Nobody was concerned that about our safety because we knew we were precious cargo on board.
Right.
Yeah.
And such a person that treats the blessings that he has, family, children, Susan, Claire, Ted, and Bob, as precious cargo, that person will always run into things in the universe, and the universe will receive her uncle as precious cargo.
Their home, they had several beautiful homes, but the home that I remember and just some of my fondest memories are there was, I mentioned before, it was John Hancock's home.
Yep.
And they had his books with the John Hancock. They found treasures in the barns, that historical treasures under the dirt, under things, original 13-star flag, all kinds of unbelievable antiques. So there's a whole story with getting that, but then the things that were found there, that the value of that was so much more than the home even. But so the blessings were coming to him, always coming to him.
Right. Right.
Because, of how he lived, and he wanted that beautiful place with horse stables and all that kind of stuff for his family to enjoy.
No, I'm glad you said that. You remind me of another story. Man down this luck, Ted Ripken. He was a rock hound. And his wife was getting ready to leave him. He couldn't have children. The house was getting ready to be lost. And he was fighting for his marriage. And one day in the middle of an argument, he goes to the shore to calm down. And as usual, he's looking for rocks. He loved to collect rocks. And he sees this big, blue, weird looking rock. He picks it up. It's dirty, but it's weird. So this must be some volcano something. He picks it up. He calms down. He goes inside the house. But the wife has written a letter and told him she's filing for a divorce. Now the house is empty. And Ted, with this rock in his hand, loses his excitement, cries, walks upstairs, puts the rock on the top shelf. 20 years pass by. Wife never comes back. He keeps the house, but he struggles every month for 20 years to keep the house. Ted is bitter. He stops going to church. He loses his faith. He becomes a bitter man. He decides to sell his house because he can't stand the memories anymore. Upon selling his house, the realtor he used to sell the house has an uncle who sells rocks. And they look at the rock on the top shelf and say, Ted, I really think you need to take this to my uncle. Reluctantly, Ted does. And it happens to be the biggest blue sapphire ever found in North America, worth over $20 million. It's actually a true story. It was written in 1986 in one of those magazines. And Ted looks back 20 years and thinks to himself, I had my breakthrough on the top shelf, and all I did was complain. My friends, how many of your dreams are you keeping on the top shelf?
So there's a keynote now. Okay then, sir.
I got 50,000 stories up here, you know. How many times are you
Everybody must get stoned.
That was perfect. Perfect. How many times have we put our $20 million dream on the top shelf because life circumstances made us shelve our value to this universe? And I'm here to tell you, the moment your kids start acting up with you all the time, you stop adding value to your kids. You have confused parental responsibilities with value to their souls. Every single time you lack on this planet, you have stopped giving in that area. The law of giving and receiving is as natural as the law of breathing. It will happen, whether you like it or not. Go ahead, Phil.
Oh no, this is going wrong and this is going wrong. We got problems. Look, we got problems. Look, I got these problems. Look at these problems. Look, all I see is problems. Everywhere I go, I see problems. I got these problems and I don't have enough and there's lack there. Isn't that what we do?
That's what we do. That's what we do. And then we blame Phil. Phil, if you'd have just left it where I was, at least I knew where I was going to eat in my poverty. Ain't that what they did to Moses? At least the Egyptians was going to do during slavery. It's all your fault, Susan. You should have made me join the Les Brown Institute. We blame the person helping us because all we see is our problems. The law of giving and receiving is so valuable because it is a law, but it shouldn't be a law. It should be something more holy, more reverent than Allah. I don't know what that word is. I don't know what that thing is, but it needs to be something that
A sacrament.
A sacrament. Yes. And every week you should come back to this sacrament and participate in its practice. Every week. Every day. As often as you meet is what those who believe in sacraments, that's how it's written in their sacred text. Giving activates receiving. Not giving activates lack. Now, let me give it to you the real way. That's the way I have to say it, Damali, so people can understand it. Here's the real way. Giving activates abundance. Not giving activates abundance. Not giving activates abundance and its vibrational equivalent. Giving activates abundance and its vibrational equivalent. But that's hard to understand. So I'll say it the two ways again. Giving activates receiving. You get that. Not giving activates lack. Here's the truth. The universe doesn't have lack. So when you do not give, you actually get an abundance of do not give. So you create an overflow of situations that keep you not with the ability to give. Oh, this is so good. And when you create an abundance of opportunities to not give, you can never activate abundance in receiving. If you have an area of lack in your life, you have activated the abundance of, I will not improve this area in your life. I will only reinstitute, nail up on a cross, certify, and keep you beholding to the circumstances that keep you in this place. And the universe is so petty and also loves you so much, it will keep hitting you in the head with that lesson, like a holding pattern, until you learn the lesson in that area. This is why, if you be honest with yourself, some of you, you got the same financial problems you had last year. Because you're in a holding pattern. Why, Antonio? Million infinite reasons, but they all come back to one. You stop giving value to the universe in that area. There's no other reason. I don't have any money. The humor consultants would tell you, do you have a smile? Yes, sir.
Plus, I didn't give to myself.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's the worst.
I'm about to go in the gym, but to the fact that you're losing money because you don't put it in the right areas. You put it in fast food, you put it in clothes because you gotta look good and all this stuff. But that noticing that 10% will help you in a lot of areas to where you don't think you have. But that 10% will help you a whole lot because you can invest more into other areas or other venues or avenues.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. Absolutely. Imagine if you served a God that didn't take care of himself.
Watch it.
I want you to think. I want you to think about that. I want you to think about it.
That's the thing. People, I'm sorry, Bishop.
No, you good. I told you we're gonna have to ask y'all to talk.
That's the thing. Preachers got it to where God's gonna bless you. Well, what about you blessing yourself?
And not only is that true, but isn't you blessing yourself, God blessing you?
Yes, because he's You're made in this image.
Let's keep it out there. So let's just keep it very practical.
Okay.
Is God gonna show up in robes and the rose of Sharon and some flying chariot and bless you? Or is God gonna increase your ability to bless yourself and bless you?
Wow.
We can keep it very practical.
Yes.
Y'all keep waiting for God to do these mysterious, smoky things to bless you. Grace, if God is gonna bless you today, it will come from you.
You right.
It would come from you. Even if it was Susan that said, Grace, you know what? I don't know why, but the Lord just told me to give you $20. It's still because you likable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ain't nobody giving no money to somebody they can't stand. Let me tell you something. I love all people. I do. That don't mean I like y'all. I love y'all. It's a difference. Those are two different frequencies. I love everybody on planet Earth. I do not like Donald Trump. I ain't gonna lie to you. Ain't no sense in me even getting to you. Therefore, every time Donald Trump emailed me, told me to give, I did not give. Did you hear my logic there? Because I don't give to people I don't like. And neither do you. Did you? Don't worry about it. Donald Trump don't like me either. He love me. He don't like me either. So he ain't giving to me either. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get, I'm trying high and low. I'm talking about this idea of I love everybody. I got no disrespect for President Donald Trump. None. Not gonna say a single word. Never have, never will. That don't mean I'm trying to eat quinoa seeds with him, Susan. Because if you're gonna sit at my table, I better know you. And if I think I know you, that's probably a bad thing. But I already passed judgment. It's important. God shows up in your life, should you believe in God, as you. This is so difficult for me to get y'all to understand. Please, Arshia, do me a favor and tell all your friends to stop forcing God to these impossible tasks. Yes, God does impossible tasks with ease. But why you gotta make that be necessary? Isn't it better if you get some connotation, take your Marcus Buckingham challenge, increase your ability to earn, work with Phil and Susan, become likable, get access to them and access to their contacts and access to everything else they have? Isn't it easier to bless you with these 8 elements? Or you call Phil and Susan, what can I get for $25? One of these is easier for God to work in. Give. The power of giving. You heard me alluding to it this morning. The power of giving. I think we've slept on this. Queen Chi is getting ready to do an amazing keynote somewhere in some state I've been in, but a city I've never heard of. And it's called Gratitude Rewired. And if you think gratitude is not a fancy word for giving, you are not paying attention. You cannot be a taker and be grateful. Takers who have high levels of gratitude have very, very fond feelings of gratefulness of giving you pain and seeing you in tears. And through that, they are giving. My friends, good or bad, if you stop giving, you will get more of abundance for the situations of you not being able to give. I want to show y'all something. I started to do it this morning and I told myself to stop. Like, pay attention to the screen. I told y'all we were going to help inmates. This is what I said. So we're going to help inmates. This is what we're going to do. 2 people. No, I'm not. Let me frame this here. 2 people had the speed and time to give the $69 and $70? Was it two? Dan, am I right? Okay, just two. I'm not saying two people gave. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying in the hustle and bustle of the day, and as quick of a notice as it was, two people gave. And I promised you, so that's let's say it's $140. Okay? So I want to show you something. Here is all the books. Here's the first one. Well, actually, let me not show. Oh no, here's all the books going out today, and $300. Like this is about $18,000 worth of books. I kid you not, because some of these are $300. You can look them up on yourself. Take a screenshot. You can look them up yourself.
Some of them look like textbooks. Yes.
No, they are all, except for this one. They are all textbooks. Every one of them. That plus this one. Well, so this is just a picture. You can't see all of them. But plus this $201.98 commentary by the world's foremost Paulinian scholar. All of it. And it obviously was purchased yesterday as promised. We said that. Okay. So this will be on Friday and this will go out Friday. I said, this is what, pay very close attention to the way I said it 2 days ago. I said, hey, everybody. I thought about it. We're already giving. I want to include you in the giving. We're going to do it anyway. But some of you may be ready to activate a blessing. This is very important. I'm not telling you, we're not talking about the people who did not, because there is no did not. The people who did not forgot or whatever, or wouldn't they time, right? Push all that out the window, because that's all positive. Let's talk about the two. That's about $22,000 worth of books, conservatively. And they attached their $70 to that. And I promise you, they're not going to get a $70 blessing. You're getting it. They're going to get the blessing of the whole, because the universe just sees whole. It don't see, well, I was going to bless you, Susan, but I didn't really like what Phil did. That's not how it works. that's not how it works. No, it says, Susan, here's a big old tree with a big old abundance with no conditions attached to it. Do with it what you will. You gave, receiving has been activated. And Phil looks across the room and said, "Whoo, baby, you did good. We did good." That's what Prophet Darius said this morning. Even if Renee win, we won, right? Right? It's that idea there of you don't have to be Jesus in the boat and be Jesus of the boat to get the blessings of the boat. You can be the little ships that were sailing with them and never even meet Jesus and still get the same blessing. And that, which I'm going through my little mental note here, my mental, what you call it, script here, leads me to the next movement. If you are having trouble giving, find peace in the fact you don't need to learn how to give. Let me help you. Arshia, I dare you go hang with Phil and Susan. So you don't need to learn how to do whatever the hell they do. You don't need to learn. Keep hanging with them. Watch what happens. I think y'all missing it. You gotta learn. You ain't gotta know it. Just get in association and watch how not only do you change, but the universe is slick. Universe, no, it's gonna take too long for you to change. You too ignorant, you too stubborn, you too arrogant. So guess what the universe start doing? Giving you Phil and Susan's overflow.
Yes, I was about to say that.
To convince you to change. Oh, don't y'all miss this. There's a Hebrew boy. He got a terrible job, Phil. He's a sheep herder. Sheep herder. The sheep herder becomes king. Says, "Oh, great strategic God of Phil and Susan and Antonio, or old strategic God of Susan Sorrentino, who is all strategic. Your cup runneth over. Now that don't make no doggone sense. That such a strategic God would be so wasteful. But overflow ain't wasteful. Overflow is for you to stand next to somebody who is empty. Overflow is for you to get a head start. Keep hanging with Phil and Susan and watch how all of a sudden you start changing. You're going to change because of your decision? Nope. You're going to change because association, that overflow going to jump in you and you're going to say, I like this. I like that. And every time I left them, I didn't get it. Let me get back. Let me get back. You're not so conscious that you can fix your own problems. You don't need to be conscious. You don't need to be woke. You don't need to have all this. You just need to find somebody getting blessed and stand next to them. Stand there long enough. You will change. Go ahead, Phil.
It's interesting. There was a time in our business where we had so much overflow and we supported 3.5 other speakers. We would get so many leads. We were getting so many people trying to get to us that I had to find other speakers to fulfill the request.
Wow. Wow. Y'all hear that? That is, first off, find you somebody like that so you get you some speaking engagements. Let me just, like, my salesperson couldn't help it. It jumped out before my esoteric side. So I couldn't help it. Like, hey, there you go find them. But secondly, do you understand how much abundance you have when you go, we ain't got no room for this? What are we gonna do? Give it to somebody else. And that's the kind of life I want to live. I want to live a life where I ain't got room for all I got. You hear what I'm saying? I want to be like, man, this is too valuable. What are we going to do with it? Just give it away for free. Find somebody to bless. Don't even charge. Well, we would charge, but you charged already. Look at what we got. You keep charging and we keep making money. We ain't got enough. Just give it away and help somebody else. And that's the kind of lifestyle I want. I want that lifestyle right now. Yes, sir.
There was an accountant that wanted to be a speaker that wanted to use humor in his programs. So I said, well, come in and look at our business. Look at anything. You look at anything. Our financials. Do whatever you want to. Anything you learn, fine. He said, you know what's amazing about you, Phil? He says, what? He says, you spend no money on marketing.
Wow.
I looked at your financials. You spend nothing on marketing. Yeah. You don't spend anything. I said, I never thought about that. I don't have to.
You making money twice. Yeah, you making money by not spending it, and you making money from.
And I wasn't aware when I was doing it. I obviously wasn't aware of it. It's just like I wasn't aware that, I've spoken in every state except for Vermont and North Dakota, and we've never marketed at all outside of Central Ohio.
Wow.
All of those engagements were word of mouth.
That's mind blowing. First off, I ain't never been to Vermont or North Dakota. I ain't even met nobody from Vermont. In fact, I think they're illusions. They may not be real. I'll believe it when I see it.
Well, Ben and Jerry's ice cream was in there, so that gives them some.
That ice cream so good you chew it. That's some good ice cream. You chew that ice cream like a meal. That's some good ice cream for sure. Antonio, how do I activate this law of giving and receiving? Well, you know what? Deepak Chopra came before me and talked about this. And you know what, Phil? It was controversial when he did it. I don't understand this. I don't understand. But Phil, tell you, all great truths start off as heresies. I don't understand it. Deepak Chopra says these 3 things. I'm going to copy and paste them to you. One at a time. They are very important. Actually, Grace, no, Deanna, would you read them, please? Read it all the way through. And then I'm gonna come back and read it because it's so powerful, especially number one. Go ahead.
Wherever I go and whomever I encounter, I will bring them a gift. The gift may be a compliment, a flower, or a prayer. Today, I will give something to everyone I come into contact with. And so I will begin the process of circulating joy, wealth, and affluence in my life and in the lives of others.
That's so loaded. And it feels good just hearing it. Don't it feel like the truth? You know, truth is when you go, man, I knew that somehow. I didn't know it till he said it, but I knew it when he said it, you know, like that kind of thing. That's that real truth. That's that soul truth. That
The ring of truth.
This. The ring of truth. That is absolutely the phrase. Yeah. The ring of truth. I like the whole thing. That's number one, Grace. I mean, Gross Notes put that as number one. Wherever I go, there can't be. The reason why I like this part because it keeps my arrogance in check. Because sometimes I go places that God wanted me to go and I didn't want to. And I'm not talking about like lesser people or something. I'm talking about trouble. How many of y'all know what I'm talking about? Sometimes your steps are ordered into chaos and you're supposed to be there. You're supposed to be there because you're supposed to learn something or you're supposed to get tougher, whatever it is. And right. And wherever I go, I'm supposed to give a gift. So even when I'm reluctant and don't feel like it, and I feel offended by the things of this universe, I'm not supposed to. I'm supposed to feel offended, shut my mouth, pause, and then be a gift wherever I go. Could we have any war if wherever we went, to whomever we encountered, we would bring them a gift? Would war be possible? Push it further. Would money even exist? These are some tough questions. They have very simple answers. No. If we were to, whomever we encounter, were to be blessings. I had a very, very, very good it was a super uncomfortable conversation yesterday, but it was a very good conversation yesterday. But I had to go clean up what we messed up. And so I had to clean up what I messed up. Start of my life over again. Okay, that's an old school song. ATS into marriage dropped the ball with someone who was connected. They were on an island by themselves. Doesn't matter. And 45 minutes. All I could say, Susan, was, look, you right. We suck. And I just found out about it, but I had to put a plan together. All I can tell you is I'm here. And no matter what you say, and of course they were all positive and all, they made it very easy. It was uncomfortable, but they made it very easy. I don't give a damn what you say. I ain't leaving. So we're going to have this conversation until we come to an agreement that you are going to be blessed by ATS, period, point blank. And then we laughed and we joked. It was a very positive conversation. It was uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable because I was paying for other people's karma that I didn't do. Can y'all relate? It wasn't my karma. But it's still my fault because it's still my company. As long as it's my company, it's my fault. And they said something that made me teach this today. They said something, I was going to teach something else. They said, man, I just want to be somewhere and change the world with somebody who wants to do the same. And I wouldn't even be on the phone with you this long if I didn't think that was you. And I said, wait a minute, I think you taught me something just now. Because my only thing was, I went in that conversation. In fact, I kept saying over, I'm grateful for you. I'm sorry. It was gratitude, and we gonna make sure you see all this gratitude. It's the only thing I'm thinking about. And in that, I got rewarded for my gratitude, which looked like servitude. I'm sure it was, but that wasn't my agenda. My agenda was, I just want you to leave this conversation knowing how grateful for you I am. That's it. And this person then responded and said, I'm trying to change the world, trying to change with you. And if it wasn't for you, I would have been hung up. And while I'm thinking I'm trying to fix the problem, this person was fixing me. So I hung up. And Phil, I went,
Watch yourself.
I learned something. I don't know what the hell I learned, but I absolutely learned something. That's what I said. Like, I learned something. And I sat down, and it took me 30 minutes to figure it out. Like, I had to meditate. I had to sit silently for 30 minutes. No, I learned something. What the hell was it? And it dawned on me, just like out the ring of truth, right? The ring of truth. I went in that situation giving and came out of it instantly receiving. And I said, I got to teach them this tomorrow. Wait a minute. I said, wait a minute. We gotta forget what I was going to teach. That's trash. We got to talk about this giving and receiving, because sometimes, and who knows why, there's random reasons why, but sometimes your motives can be so correct and the timing can be so correct that the karma is instant and you get back what you're doing instantly. There's many different reasons why. I don't control the universe. We will have to figure that out when we die. We'll ask, we'll ask when we go, hey, what makes instant karma? We'll get that answer then. But sometimes you can instantly get what is instant karma. And I was grateful because I wasn't just defending. It actually wasn't my honor I was defending. I was defending someone else's honor. And I was doing it because I was grateful for them. How much of your life would change if even in your uncomfortable situations, you pause and say, you're the most important thing I've done all day. I've been saying that for years. This is not about getting this perfect. This is about pausing and being perfect after the pause. Did you hear what I said? You will not parent your children perfectly. When you see your harvest in them coming back at your face, pause and respond perfectly to the situation you created. That's what this is about.
Deanna has me laughing.
That's just it. We're not going to get it perfect. But I promise you this. I promise you, do you understand how good God will be when all of us as one are lifted as millionaires? And it started because we were faithful to one another. It's not the money.
Say it again, sir.
You know how good God would be when all of us are lifted as millionaires because we stuck together and served one another. We were faithful to one another. This isn't about the money. It's not the $1 million that makes God good. It's the fact that Phil and Susan gave their all for 5 years and it paid off. If it don't pay off, God ain't good. I'm being extremely facetious here. God will still be good, but you get the point. We're talking about that, right? I can't see how good God is until Arshia shows me. And if I'm the reason Arshia can't show me, then I need to make it easier for Arshia to show me. It's that simple. Every ATS plan is not perfect. Many of the plans have been perfect and I got resistance. And then I got to take the blame for it. But my job is in the perfection and the imperfection, whatever it is, pause, and then respond perfectly. It's not that I don't want to crush my enemy totally and respond. I think one of y'all said that during the 48 Laws of Power. I appreciate you. I think it was John. I appreciate you saying that. You made me look real good. And I didn't cut you off because I like looking real good. So I just sat back, I just sat back like this and say, go ahead and talk about it. I ain't a problem. But that ain't the truth. The real truth is I pause and I have mastered pause in keynotes and in life. I understand the power of pause. In keynotes, it makes a good keynote. And in life, it makes me not look like a butthole. No, it's the truth. Because wealthy people do not react, they act. Unwealthy people are always reacting. Getting control of that auto-suggestion is a really big deal and a hard journey. It is. Because what's in you is going to come out of you. The beautiful part about giving and receiving, the more you put something in you, Damali, is the more it becomes the natural you. Aristotle actually saw, they called it the 3 virtues. He was the first person to write that down, 3 virtues. Aristotle is a student of Plato. And the funny thing is, he was like straight Antonio Phil. He just went against all of Plato's teachings. He was like, Plato said all this, I got this to say. Hey, just this whole thing. But they both are the truth, though. They both are the truth. Aristotle called it the 3 virtues. And in one of those virtues, he was saying the more that you do something, the more it becomes your natural virtue. And that is true. That is true. Because your brain, right now, scientists say that your brain makes maps in 11 dimensions. You can't even process what I said because it has no process. Like you can't even imagine 11 dimensions. It's impossible.
Like, I can't see 11D. What is that?
You need a computer to do it. Like you can't even imagine what I just said. But they say when we have thoughts, when we map out plans, and Susan's probably doing 17 dimensions. She's super strategic. And she does it in split seconds, this nanoseconds. Our brain is so complex. Imagine trying to break down 11 dimensions of poverty that you put there. Of course it's hard. You got a whole city of poverty in your head. You can't just break this down in 1 hour. You can't do it. But what you can do, Chiquita, is you start giving. Let me tell you why feeling Susan, Deanna, well, let me not use Deanna and Grace. No, I'm going to use Deanna and Grace. Feeling Susan, Deanna, Grace, and Law. Let me tell y'all why. No, and Arshia, I got to put her in there. And Damali, got to put them in there now. I'm thinking about different time frames. Let me tell y'all why y'all have no choice but to be blessed. Because we got a lot of classes in ATS. And y'all show up even if it ain't pertinent to you with your camera on to be somebody else's crowd. So somebody else can have a breakthrough. And if you think God ain't paying attention to that, you need a whole new God there. Because I promise you, there is a return on that energy. There is people who are present always become people who are wealthy. I've never not seen it. I dare you to show me. You're going to have a hard time showing me people who always show up and they lose. I'm going to tell you why, Damali. It's straight practicality and math. If you show up 100% of the time, you will eventually show up to your breakthrough. It's called the law of numbers.
Antonio.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. We've talked about him before, a good friend of ours who would, come over to our house and, we would be ready to go to bed. It'd be 11 o'clock at night and we couldn't get him to leave. he just been around us. And he's, he had the camera business that was the family business and so forth. And then, that went under because of the change of times. They were very successful, but he started send out cards, and even if
I'm a member of Send Out Cards.
Yeah, even if you are successful in that, there's not a whole lot. I think some people, but not generally. It's a lot of work. Well, he came over and wanted us to do it, and I just wanted to use it to send thank you things. I didn't want to know all that other stuff.
That's the same thing I do.
Sat down at the computer, and I couldn't get him out of there. And everyone kind of said that about him. He had things, but he went on and just kept plugging in network marketing, and he's a millionaire now. But he's the same exact person, caring, and I mean, he really cares. He's a giver, but he just loved Phil and I, and he still does to this day. And he is a giver, but he's stuck with it, and he is set. He's in Puerto Rico now on an island, still has his home in Columbus, and just all this stuff, and he buys products, the best products from all of them. Him and I are.
KCIRS, Susan, KCIRS is listening. He now has his permanent home in Puerto Rico for tax purposes. So
I know that's right. I know that's right.
Yeah.
Real quick, and I'll give it back to Susan. John Lennon has a song, Instant Karma.
Wow.
John Lennon, he wrote it in February 1970. And then also one thing I notice about hanging around wealthier people, they have a tendency.
Can't hear you, Phil. Keep fading out.
There?
No. We can hear when you keep talking, it winds up. It's just noise canceling you. Once you keep talking, it pulls you up.
I'm canceling out my own noise.
Yeah, you're good.
When I really had an opportunity to hang around some really wealthy people, I noticed that their pace of their conversation slowed down. They have a tendency to talk almost like they're thinking before they say something.
Yes.
It's just something.
Only Antonio hears you.
She says almost like they're thinking before they say something.
That's all.
Okay.
So true.
Susan, you can finish.
That's so true. I mean, I remember when we went over to Naples or the Marco Island with, your friend there and his wife and their pace. I remember when we went to dinner that time with the two men, they had this beautiful dinner, and it just went on and on all evening. Like I was falling asleep, but they had that slow pace. They weren't in a rush, and it was just a beautiful meal and different levels of it, and just it was all about great conversation. It was all about just wonderful conversations and getting into different conversations and learning about each other. And I think that wealthy people do that. They want to know, they want to learn. And I know that people that we've been around that way, and I observed that early on.
Absolutely.
Starting out.
Absolutely. They always keep their word, no matter how uncomfortable some may be. They just do. Because there's this understanding about the laws of this universe. Phil said something that struck a chord in me, because I've been teaching Deanna this here. Deanna, what Phil said was he recognized many wealthy people, and it's almost like they just stop for a long time and they think about what they want to say next before they actually say it. And I've been teaching you that lately. No, walk them through the process, because I'd be beaten up with this too. Not in a bad way. Just be like, wait. You did it too. You did it again. Go ahead, say it, because it's important. Setting up my next point. Because
I talk so fast, I don't pause to think about what I'm going to say. So I'll just say something, or as Antonio tells me, he says, you thinking ahead of me. And because I'm thinking ahead, I'm talking ahead, and I didn't pay attention to that moment. So I'm talking ahead of the moment, not picking up what was just said.
If you're thinking ahead of me, you ain't listening. Yes, sir.
I've said this before, but I had a hermit tell me this, and there are still hermits in this world. They're just hard to find. He said, Phil, he said, you need to appreciate the silence between the words.
That's right. That's absolutely right. They speak so well, don't they? They speak so well. Now, I'm going to tell you where I got this from. Well, the more I hang out with people far wealthier than me, the more I recognize that we all have these insanely uncomfortable pauses that make people uncomfortable. This make people uncomfortable. They do. Everybody would be sitting there and they go, "Oh, so Antonio, what do you think about global warming?" And then Antonio would just wait. 50 seconds will pass by. And now I'm asking a question. It's not that I don't have the answer. I am accounting for the effect my answer is going to have on everybody listening. And now I need to account for myself. What am I willing to stand by? When they talk bad about me, because they will, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, good or bad. They're going to talk bad about me. I need to make sure this is something I stand by. And if it's something I stand by, then it's kind of hard to get canceled when you believe in what you said. So you have to pause and make these things possible. And Phil brought it up, and most people don't know that because you're taught, my friends, that conversation rules the nation. And in order for you to sound smart, or smartly is actually the proper way to say that, is for you to actually rule the conversation. In all actuality, sounding smart, to quote Phil, is appreciating the silence in between the words. The more you listen, the smarter you come off. Amen. Especially when you respond and it actually adds value to the conversation. A lot of people just respond to respond. You know, like, you said something, my turn. I'm gonna say something. Go ahead, Susan.
Well, that's how my dad was. You know, he was the kind of man that, you know, the young men that really wanted to do the right thing and be successful in our community would come, and they knew that they could knock on the door. My dad would come out on the front porch and sit and talk with them. But my dad, you know, was slow with his words, with a lot of pauses. He would think about it a lot. And even if he would sit me down or one of my brothers, that's how he would have the conversation with me. And so he was known for that in our community and really helped a lot of young people. And, you know, at his funeral, a lot of them got up and said something too, or came up to us and said something.
Amen to that. Amen to that. You can always tell. And this is something I learned, but everybody knows this. It's just something that dawned on me. You can always tell the quality of someone's life. When you look at their funeral, you can tell. It is clear how they have lived. There's no more second guessing. You especially like when one of the coaches from the high school dies, and the whole church is full, and the parking lot, you know, because that particular coach made a major difference. Or when your mom or your grandmother goes and folk from the 50s is coming out saying, I remember Temple's Cafe. I remember the Sorrentino cookies way back in the, you know, and all that stuff, and how I was broken. Today I'm alive because Mr. Sorrentino, great grandpa Sorrentino, gave me cookies when she snuck them to me just so I can eat, and it gave me enough energy to do this job interview. You can always tell. So quality of somebody's life by how people respond when they are past. Conversely, my friends, you can always tell the quality of somebody's life that when they pass and you hear about it 5 years later, you be like, for real? Antonio died? That's not a good life. I do apologize to you. But when you pass and you make not a noise, you got to come back and do this thing over.
You're gonna have to pick another example. I'm at work, but I heard that loud and clear. The devil is a lie. We rebuke that, pull it down. He's a lie and a scandal. The truth is not in him, never was. That's why he's a joke. He got the choke.
I hear you.
You something else. You somebody else. It ain't gonna happen, Captain.
Okay, you talking about the relative. I got you. Yeah, no, I'm just saying. Like even, and I'm not talking about like the whole world. The whole world doesn't need to know that you died. But in your circle, it should be some noise. Or you lived a quiet life making no noise. Don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. I'm more focused at this point in my life. I want things to continue while I'm gone. You know, anyway, I'll come back to that. Number 2. Gianna, since you read so well, you have a good high school education. They taught you well. If you can just read this, this is number 2. This is Deepak Chopra, by the way.
Today, I will gratefully receive all the gifts that life has to offer me. I will receive the gifts of nature, sunlight, the sound of birds singing, spring showers, or the first snow of winter. I will also be open to receiving from others.
Read that again, because that's read it again. They missed it. Read it again.
Today, I will gratefully receive all the gifts that life has to offer me. I will receive the gifts of nature, sunlight, the sound of the birds singing, spring showers, or the first snow of the winter. I will also be open to receiving from others okay. I will also be open to receiving from others.
Okay, yeah, I meant to post it. I split it up in YouTube because YouTube only lets me do like 300 characters at a time. Grace, as best as you can. Explain that to me. No fancy words. You're going to be right 100%.
Okay. Everything that is being offered to me today,
you already own it, Grace.
I am going to gratefully receive it. I don't care what it is. If grandma say, hey, I just want to give you such and such and such. Thank you so much, grandma. I appreciate it. Okay. But he says, I saw it said the gifts of nature. That's always given to us. So you got to be grateful for the stuff that's already here. The great philosopher T.I. said, you need to stop focusing on what you don't got and be grateful for what you do got.
Man, that's my song right there. Hold on. What song is that?
You can have whatever you like.
Man, yeah. Yes. There is.
What's it, Live Your Life? Anyway, one of them. Is it the one with
one
Rihanna?
of them.
With Rihanna?
Yeah, well,
that's
Live Your Life.
That's Live Your Life. I think that's the one.
Yes.
But yes, even, because the bird singing, spring showers, sunlight, the first snow of winter, yeah, that's always given that, because that just comes with the seasons. And it was, as long as you live in it and can open your eyes and see all that, yeah, we need to be grateful for all of those, because what we really need to be the most grateful for are the things that are freely given, because we think that we need to be grateful for the things that cost us. Really, you need to be grateful for the things that's freely given. Like, that ain't cost me nothing. I'm not running my own lungs.
Peeing without assistance.
Hello, somebody. Okay.
Let me tell you something. Your life is different when you got a catheter.
Hello.
I don't care how temporary it is. Your life is different when you have a catheter. I don't care what you're talking about. You can't even jump up and down with a catheter. There's no jumping jacks. You got to watch your step with a catheter. if you even step in. So just the idea of eliminating waste from your body is a blessing. And that's how grateful you need to be. In fact, we're going to do this during the leadership class that's coming up here June 23rd. Of course, Phyllis Susan already in. The reason I wanted to point this out to you is because I want you to see something on Shield. I want you to see something to mine. God is in everything. I don't care. I don't care if it's your ancestor. I don't care if it's the king of this tribe. Man, you go to wherever you go, so be it. Let it be so. Let it be so. My DNA is 70% Nigerian, and then 28% West African, and then 2% Congo, which is still West African. Literally, I'm 100% from West African as far as my DNA goes. So it don't matter. You could have a king of a village or pastor. I don't care. There's some life-giving, one infinite intelligence force in all things. Chiquita, this is where I come in at. The Apostle Paul tried to tell it to you. Let's review the Apostle Paul. Romans chapter 2, and I pulled up the New Living Translation. The New Living Translation is not a translation at all. It is a paraphrase of a translation, but I used it because I want people to understand what the heck I'm about to talk about. So that's why we're using it, Arshia. Okay, we don't need all the fancy words, Damali. We don't need all the fancy words. This is just some hood talk.
Which
it's a New Living
brings you to
Translation.
your Bible. You feel me? Just say it.
You're right. My Bible will have some
Breaking
other
the
words.
get down with the get down.
Yeah,
So that people can get down with what they know they need to get down with. Just
my
saying.
Bible gonna say, God, don't you see they got me effed up? When you gonna do something around here? Yeah, my Bible gonna be too real. too real.
Period.
You call now. I want y'all to read along with me because I'm gonna translate it. I'm gonna translate the translation even more. All right, shit. You feel me? You call yourselves the folk who got it together. That's what the Jews at. You relying on the word of God, and you boast at your preaching and your teaching and how you are saved. You see it in your special relationship with Him. Oh, don't fool me now.
Watch it, Reverend.
Susan, I swear, Paul tried to tell y'all this. Paul tried to tell y'all this. You call you look. This is where great. This is where you go. I didn't know that was in the Bible. That was not in the Bible yesterday. I didn't know that.
It was not. Okay.
You call yourself a preacher. You call yourself a disciple. That's the Jews. That's what it says. You call yourself Jews, and you relying on the word of God, pleading the blood. And then you boast, Antonio, about how you can rightly divide it. And you got a special saved relationship with Him. But you know what He wants? You know what's right. Because you've been taught the law. Of course you can boast, Queen Chi, because you've been with Him long enough. You're convinced that you are the God for the blind. I ain't even had to translate that one. That's how it is right there. And the light for people who are lost in darkness. You think, Deanna, you can instruct the ignorant and teach the children the ways of God. That's not even my translation. That's in the NLT. It's getting real, ain't it? For you are certain God's law gives you all the truth. Help me, somebody. And look, this is where this is where Paul gets real Antonio like, well then, if you teach others, why the hell you ain't teach yourself? It's right there. Read 21, Grace.
Well then, if you teach others, why don't you teach yourself?
Antonio, I'm gonna need you to back up what you're preaching. Antonio, my name is Antonio Sorrentino, and I'm telling you, you don't look like what you preach like. You out here every Thursday telling us to be better. And you get uncouth every time somebody asks you a question. You need to calm down. You talking about Christ. I don't even see Christ nowhere in you. You say don't steal, but look at you stealing. You said you was going to donate 100% of them donations back to the proceeds. Ain't no proof. I ain't seen them books you said you was going to buy for the prisoners. I ain't seen none of that. You let such and such take our money. What you doing about it? You say it's wrong to commit adultery. You got 15 side chicks. What was that? It's right here. Look, but you commit adultery yourself.
Reverend.
I'm just trying to make it make sense to Molly. You condemn idolatry, but you sure love your scotch. You spend more time with scotch than you do in church.
Watch yourself.
Oh, look at me. And here you is, proud of knowing the law. But you dishonor God by breaking it every chance you get. It's right here. It's
What
23.
chapter of Romans is this?
2. This is Romans 2. Paul come out swinging. This is Romans 2. And look, then Paul say, no wonder scriptures say Gentiles blaspheme in the name. Because of you, player. They only acting like you, Queen Chi. Now watch this here. Yeah, you got the whole Jewish ceremony, all them circumcision and stuff. You doing good. You like all that stuff. You look like a Christian, but you don't act like one. Watch this here. Verse 26. Watch it turn. Watch it turn, Ashia. This is when people like Jerome will go, if the Gentiles, now hold on now, because if Gamaliel is a good person, we got a problem here. Because the uncircumcised, them Africans, them folk with dual citizenship, they don't know the law, but they still obey it. They not Jews. They not us. They weren't born from us. So what we gonna do? How we gonna fix this situation? And I skipped the part before it. It says, I skipped it on purpose. I wanted to highlight how Antonio acting like Paul. Susan, and Paul ain't had no time to be playing with you. Paul said, look here, I'm in jail, about to get my head cut off. Let me tell you the whole truth. Exactly like Antonio. I'm not finna miss these words. I'll let Phil wordsmith it later. Here's some truth for you. Go ahead, Phil.
This is verse 24 in the Jerusalem Bible. As scripture says, and then the next part is italicized, and they rarely italicize.
Wow.
It is your fault that the name of God is blasphemed among the pagans.
That's tough. That is tough. Oh, that is tough. Oh, they're not holding no punches. It's your fault, Antonio. And they gave you a microphone and a jacket, and you out here leading people astray.
Not a microphone and a jacket.
You out here leading people astray.
Verse 25, you ready?
Yeah.
It is a good thing to be circumcised if you keep the law. But if you break the law, you might as well have stayed uncircumcised.
That's too funny. Circumcision is a sign of God. It's good to have a sign of God if you actually keep it. But hell, you should have just not even got the sign of the law. How about that? Because you sure enough don't act like it. And before that, way at the beginning, like verse 11, Paul was saying, so how do the Antonios out there know God? And this is what we are, the birds in the tree. We don't say that in the text. It's just the mountains and the stars in the sky. This is where scholars get natural revelation from spiritual revelation or biblical revelation. What I wanted to prove to you is you may act good, Grace, but you break the law every chance you get. Yet somebody like me, who is a clear heathen in your law, is grateful for everything in his life, even you corrected me, and you wonder why I'm blessed, because I'm actually following God's heart, not God's law. Because
Watch yourself.
I don't know the law. I ain't got access to it. And I'm blessed because I got his heart. Did that make sense to you now? That's number 2.
Oh, yeah.
The way
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna always remember a microphone in the jacket.
my 11. God has no favorites.
Ooh. God has no favorites. God has no favorites. Not me? No, I got a microphone in the jacket. Gotta be me. Gotta be me. I gotta be one of his favorites. Nope. You can tell. Somebody once told me, I think it's a popular saying, but it wasn't. If it is, it doesn't matter. I think somebody popular said it. Somebody like Earl Nightingale said it, something like that. But I remember, I never forget it. You can tell the quality of a man by what he does for people who can never repay him. That is life-changing. It's life-changing. That's life-changing. I love when Ibrahim said this morning, like, man, I be giving, but I don't really give because I get something back. And this time it worked. Yeah, it worked every time. It worked every time. If you give selfishly, but you still give, you will receive. You're just going to receive a portion, but you will receive. Now, you might not know it's a portion. Queen Chi, actually, I'm talking to Queen Chi and Damali because I know I love them both. I had plenty of conversations, both of them. Let Phil, Queen Chi said, whatever, I'm his favorite. Of course, you wear a crown every day. Of course you think you're his favorite. You are fitting, you are on brand. You are on brand. You wear a crown in regular life. Yes, you are his favorite. Talking to them too. I'm just going to talk to them too. I feel comfortable with that, what I'm about to say next. I know what it's like to look up and say, I can't do this no more. I can't take another loss. I can't. No, not no more. I'm not mad. I'm not sad, but I am done. This old me is done. And whatever I got to do to go higher, so be it. I'll listen to whomever I shouldn't be in my head, whatever it is. That's what I got to do. Why? Because I'm a good person? Probably not. Because I'm done. And for the first time in my life, I'm finally done entertaining things that don't serve me. I feel like that's Queen Chi and Damali. They done said, I ain't doing this no more. Me and my family, Puerto Rican island. Tomorrow, we doing that. Because at this point, sometimes you get tired of underachieving. Can y'all relate to that?
I sure can. And not only that, but you also have to be aware of those people who don't want you to be done.
Watch yourself now. Watch. Whoop. Don't you? Wow. You about to start a whole other class.
Watch it,
Don't
yo.
do that.
They start blaming you for stuff and speaking that negative into it.
Watch yourself now. You
Yolanda
on it
is
right
the
now.
truth assassin of the group. She's a truth assassin.
Yeah, buddy. Now you right about it. Deanna, read number 3 for us. And Talisha's in the YouTube chat going off. She said, man, I never looked at it that way.
I will make a commitment to keep wealth circulating in my life by giving and receiving life's most precious gifts. The gifts of caring, affection, appreciation, and love. Each time I meet someone, I will silently wish them happiness, joy, and laughter.
Stop right there. Everybody missed it. I want you to read that backwards this time, okay? I want you to start at the end.
Okay.
And then I want you to go each time.
Each time I meet someone, I will silently wish them happiness, joy, and laughter.
Very important. Catch this because we're closing. Each time. Read again, Dion.
Each time I meet someone, I will silently wish them happiness, joy, and laughter.
Same energy as number one. Whenever I meet someone, I'm going to do this. But now he identifies what he's going to do. I'm going to wish whoever it is happiness no matter what. I'm going to give them joy no matter what. And I'm going to give them laughter no matter what. Because I ain't got no damn money. You hear me?
So that would be the prayer? If you don't have
Almost.
A flower or cup? Okay.
Yes, absolutely. But what does he call? I'm sorry. But what does he call this? Read the first sentence, Gianna.
I will make a commitment to keep wealth circulating in my life.
Stop. He calls this wealth circulation. He says that I would keep wealth circulating into my life by giving people happiness, joy, and laughter, and the money will automatically show up. Somebody need to hear that today.
That's good. I did. Thank you.
See, y'all out here trying to get money. Money don't exist. Get out here and add value to people's lives, and they will laugh so much they say, "Oh, Tamale, man, you make me feel so good. What can I pay for?"
Man, you know what? This is I think you've identified a blind spot for me, because I'm very good at when I doing that, giving, compliments, making people smile. But within this, within the last year and a half, I kind of drawn into myself more. Like, I engage very much with ATS, but I don't engage with much else outside of my home and ATS and my nonprofit. Right. That's about it. So I haven't been giving as many gifts of compliments and interaction that I would say has really been filling my pipeline for all my life. The pipeline
all your life.
I haven't been in the pipeline.
You was six figures. You was six figures doing it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You're right. All your life. Yeah. But you know what? I don't blame you, because it's easy to lose giving to others while you're working on yourself. It's easy to lose that because somehow we think these are mutually exclusive. But the truth is, I give out to y'all every day. But as soon as I hang up with y'all, I done already told everybody I'm off. Y'all work. I'm playing my video game. I did. I told this. Why? Because I want to. And I got a new PS5. It's less than 12 hours old. And I need to try it out. And I'm too excited about it. And I need to try it out. I'm riding Jamali's energy. I'm going to give myself laughter, joy, and happiness right after I give y'all laughter, joy, and happiness. They're not mutually exclusive. I might not even take a bath tonight, Susan, playing my video game. I might not. I elect the opportunity to choose not to. Right. Because that's what I choose to do after I choose to serve others. Remember that as you're working on yourself, you can always serve others, and you can always grab that. Let me get Law first, then you, Deanna, because I don't know where he at. Go ahead, Law.
Question: do you believe the same thing applies with people in your past? Because I tend to find myself, when I think about people in my past, we may not connected anymore, but I'll think about them, and my quick go-to would be, "Oh, let me send them some great vibes or some magic or what have you." With that,
absolutely, I 100% agree with that. The people in your past are your present, whether you like it or not. Not only have they shaped your present, but there is no such thing as a past. It's just a past moment, a present moment that we think that's over there. Number one. Number two, those people in your past are the very definition of your harvest that you have today. So if you don't like your harvest today, you better go bring laughter, joy, and peace and happiness to the people in your past so you can clean up whatever the hell is going on with your present harvest today. We call that burning karma. Absolutely, I agree. Go ahead, Deanna.
This gave me when you said what you said, after I give to everyone else for the day, I go and I give to myself.
Every day I do. Why do you think I come here? Y'all ain't never seen me tired. You have never, ever seen me come to one of these calls exhausted. I'm always in overflow. Because I take my time back every chance I get. Go ahead, continue.
I want to thank you for that.
Sorry. Come on.
That's powerful. By this time, I should have been burnt out. I had Deanna teaching, I had Tempest teaching, I had Brian teaching, I had Michelle teaching, I had Grace teaching, and then one by one, they kind of they didn't fall off. They evolved and other things happened, and now it's all on me. And I ain't complained one time or slowed down. Cause as soon as I disconnect, I put on a book I want to read. You hear me? Yeah, I bet I need y'all to hear this. I need y'all to hear me. Yesterday, I promised my kids when we go to the park. Well, their mama took them because I had to work. I was on the call. So right after the call, guess what I did? I walked half a mile to the park. I could have drove, but I walked. I walked because I wanted them to see your daddy said he gonna go to the park with you. And I don't give a damn how dark it is outside. I meet y'all at the park. And I did. I take that was me taking my time back from my kids. I'm gonna meet y'all at the park, and it's hot as hell outside. And we stayed out there till the lights cut off. They cut the lights off at the park.
That's why you told me to still go
That's
and meet my dad.
And still go meet your dad. They said, y'all need to get out of here. Y'all finna get somebody finna get robbed. Go ahead, get out of here. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, keep going, dear.
I thank you for that because honey, can you mute it?
Nah, it's all right. It's all right.
Oh,
don't worry about
it's okay. There are times where I've done that incorrectly, or I don't do it because I feel bad for doing it.
Right. So let me stop it right there. And that's okay. That's perfect. Because everything you did, you served the one infinite creator. No. Keep your mind muted. Now what I want you to do is I want you to pause and respond correctly to the incorrections that you did. Don't nobody give a damn about our actions, y'all. They care about our responses to our actions.
Okay.
I can't expect Phil to do everything I want him to do. But when I bring to his attention, this offended me, and he responded incorrectly, Phil got me messed up. If he respond correctly, I say, man, I love that guy. We doing the best we can what we got. But when I tell you you hurt me, you need to at least take it into consideration. You can't get mad at me for cutting me and now I'm bleeding on you. You the reason I'm bleeding. It ain't my fault you got blood on your clothes now. You gonna get mad at me for messing up your clothes. Well, you got me bleeding. Listen, that's abusive. Listen, yeah, abusive relationships will mess up your view of this world. It will. It really will. Deanna, pause. Shut the hell up while pausing. That's the whole point of pause. And then respond perfectly. That's all you can do. We can't. What else we gonna expect of you? Why you didn't know everything? Come on, Devon. I can see you want to say something. That I get grace.
I'm gonna just say yes because that's my scenario. I feel like I'm always offending, and I'm like, I'm not trying to offend. I'm sorry, but at some point, you stop taking a knife and putting it in my hand and cutting yourself too.
That's true. That's true. So what you have to do is you got to 48 laws of power there. What you got to do is you got to find, since they want to keep cutting themselves, you got to find a palatable way. That's a fancy word for tasteable or something that you can, put in your mouth and swallow.
Tolerable.
Palatable way, tolerable for them to receive it. And here's the deal. They're going to move that curve every chance they get to Molly. As soon as you figure it out, they're going to move it. They're going to move it. As soon as you figure that moved out, they're going to move it again. I used to tell Tibbs all the time, and Dion all the time, I used to say, man, y'all got a movable bar for me. Every time I hit the impossible bar, you move it again. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna count that y'all keep moving the bar, and I'm gonna stop trying to hit it. It's both and. I'm just gonna love you as your present. I can't deal with your bar of standards anymore. Because I can't see you when I'm looking at the damn bar all the time. Okay, come on, Grace.
Wait, you said so when you're done with us for today, based on this last one that you said, after I've given y'all, happiness, joy, all those things, I'm gonna go do that to myself. How do you know when you've done that? Like you I know people say you could always do more, but how do you know, like, okay, I've done that, so now is
It's a very good question. You have a habit when you take from your resources to supply your habit and lose the resource you took from. Okay. In order for me to answer Grace's question, I have to say that first, and I'll say it again. You have a habit when you take from your resources. Like, damn, I know I had to pay the rent, but I am totally going to buy this scotch. And then you lose the house that you're paying rent for because you bought the scotch. Is what I'm saying. That's a habit. So when I go steal my time back, but lose the quality of ATS, that ain't stealing my time back no more. I need to get off that damn game. Some of this makes sense. Yeah, I'm answering your question. So you know when you check your harvest and stuff is still growing.
I was just about to say, it's going back to check the harvest.
Check your harvest. Check your harvest. When stuff is still growing and the ATS is still growing, I play my game every day I want to. The moment it don't grow, I need to say, you know what? I might need to just lock the game up for a little bit or stay in the office 12 hours longer or whatever it may be. Whatever it may be. So you know, Grace, when you're doing something that's still taking back your time and enjoying yourself, when you ain't lacking on the sales, right? And it's putting this modified for you.
Yeah.
When you hitting your numbers, still helping me create the salaries, still taking care of Phyllis, Susan, you and Jerry, and whatever else I got in your hands, which is like the whole company. I got the whole company in Grace's hands. Y'all don't know it. I got the whole company in hands. You hold the whole company. And that lack, all right, well, you don't deserve to play the game or whatever it is that you do. You don't deserve PF chains.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, that's important. No, this is what we in. Because that's an addiction now. You have a different problem. That's why I told Prophet Jerry, nah, Grace, text Sister Booker. Same number with, or text her first privately. Ask if you can, and then hook them up, and then move out the way. Because he ain't gonna do it. Not that he don't love himself. It's just that, hell, I have a hard problem taking care of myself. Phil says, Antonio, you know what you should do? I think you should call Oprah. Okay, Phil, I will. No, I'm not. The mere fact that I said, okay, Phil, I will, I lied. That was a ceremonial yes. If I didn't say, what do you suggest I do, Phil? How? What steps? Then I'm lying. I am lying. I'm lying because my self-sabotager said, Phil is right. That's going to change my life forever. Nope, we ain't going to change. We're going to stay right here because we know where here is. We don't know what the heck is going to happen when we get to Oprah and how much life going to change. Sabotager, activate. And then boom, I self-sabotage. And I knew Prophet Jerry was going to self-sabotage. So you, Grace, don't just shoot that little text message. Now he can't self-sabotage. Now he can self-sabotage that she tell him to do something. That's different. That ain't your fault no more. You know what I'm saying? It ain't Phil's fault. But I hear Phil every god doggone day. Phil say, you know what you should do, Antonio? No, what you should do, Adrian. No, what you should do. And everybody but me go, yep. And y'all don't do nothing about it. So we got to stop that. We have to stop that. Account for your self-sabotage. My sabotage is big. How do I know my self-sabotage is big? Because the trash can follows me wherever I go. But I've come to receive in my spirit, the trash can is the thorn in my side that I prayed thrice. That's what the King James says. For God to get rid of. And God says, no, we ain't gonna do that. But don't worry about it. My grace is sufficient for the journey. We ain't getting rid of that trash can. Because, Antonio, this is what Source says to me. You ain't gonna pay attention if you don't look at the trash can anyway. Your drive comes from the trash can. And the mere fact you don't want to go back in the trash can. And you don't want your kids to know nothing about the trash can. And if I take the damn trash can away, you're gonna be playing the game all day. So we're gonna keep this trash can right in your life. So I'm praying for the removal of a trash can, knowing full well, Arshia, if the trash can gets removed, I won't be me no more. I'm praying for something I can't handle. My character, as it stands today, cannot handle a world that I don't lose everything. In order for Antonio to be at his greatest, Antonio must always have at his risk the opportunity to lose everything. And I just come to grips with that. We're not talking about the vibration. We're talking about that slight fear that makes me say, let me read this article Phil just text me. And he does text me articles. let me read this, because if Phil sent it to me, he knew it was important, so let me read it. Without that, I would take it for granted. Be grateful for the thorns in your side. They are the very reason you got your motivation. My character, as it stands today, is pioneer teacher, according to Phil and Susan. How I'm going to be a pioneer, not risking everything. Some of this stuff makes it. This is why I need to take the Marcus Buckingham. Phil, why don't you tell about the Marcus Buckingham challenge? And Grace, tell them how to get in touch with Phil, just in case they don't know. I'm serious. You can't be a pioneer with no risk. It's in my chemical makeup in this incarnation. It just is what it is. No risk, no pioneer. I need the risk of losing everything to be my full self. Without it, I get demotivated. And I start saying things like, I'll do it tomorrow. And we know you keep doing stuff, you keep putting off stuff to tomorrow, you end up with a bunch of empty yesterdays. That's it. So, in pure Antonio Teachman Jr. style, when the Yodo Full Gospel Church of South Korea was building a massive prayer mountain, Grace, they struggled in raising all the funds that it took for the construction. Yet Pastor David Cho challenged his members again and again, sermon and sermon, meeting and meeting, that they could raise these funds needed for the project. Then an elderly woman went directly to Pastor Cho. She gave him her bowl of chopsticks. She said, Pastor, this is all I have. It is my only earthly possession. I only have a bowl and I only have chopsticks. I struggle every day to put something in this bowl. And every day I find to put something in, and I'm grateful that I have the chopsticks to eat. You can have it all. I will find another way to eat. And the entire church was touched. One bowl and 2 chopsticks. From then, the lady who gave all she had back to the church she believed in, inspired all the members to give enough money for that church to build the prayer mountain. And I don't know what is your last, but I can tell you this universe has never let down any woman that all they had was a bowl and chopsticks, and they didn't win. As for me, I'm ready to risk it all and give it all because I've already done it. I'm tired of comfort because comfort keeps me in a life I do not deserve. Giving it all away always ushers in the life that is worthy of me. I challenge you upon this call. If you want to receive, you got a bowl, you got 2 chopsticks. And I don't know what that looked like. And I don't know what it is. And I don't know which one of your children need to see it. And I don't know who children need to see them walk for half a mile to the park. All I can tell you is somebody in your life is getting ready to bless your entire path and trajectory of your life, but they can't do it until you give up your bowl and your 2 chopsticks. We cannot see or be inspired by your bowl and your chopsticks. And if you don't know what I'm saying, God has given us our bowl and our chopsticks. God has given us our old lady with the bowl and the chopsticks. God has given us somebody that gave everything they had, and now it's time for us to rally around and get to the next level. And that person is Prophet Jerry with a colostomy bag, working out in public. And if you can't respect that, your whole perspective is whack. Jay-Z said, maybe you love me when I fade to black. Antonio T. Smith Jr., you can't plant better. You can dominate. Thank you, everybody. Love you. Video game.
Love you more.
All right, everybody. Y'all have a good one. Jaquita, I will call you during my video game time.